Yo guys, InsaneGamer52 here, and today I'm going to show you the easiest way to kill the Stormcaller boss in Modern Warfare Zombies. Alright, so you need to kill the Stormcaller to complete the Confrontation Act 3 mission. This can be a very daunting task if you're not prepared, so I hope this guide helps. Okay, so the Stormcaller is a named disciple who is always found inside the Aether Storm. Since he's a named enemy, that automatically makes him have a beefy health bar. And since he's inside the Aether Storm, he gets another health boost on top of that. I'm pretty sure he has the most health of any enemy outside of the Aether Worms. Thankfully, since he is a disciple, that means that he also has a couple of weaknesses that you can take advantage of. The first one of these is that you can deal critical damage to him once you break his mask. And if you have Deadshot Daiquiri, that crit damage will be boosted even more. He also has a secondary weak spot if you shoot his hand while he's channeling his lifesteal beam that drains your health while restoring his. This will interrupt his attack, stun him, and deal crit damage on top of that. All disciples are also weak to electric damage. This means that you'll want to run the Deadwire ammo mod to get another nice damage bonus on every hit regardless of if it's a crit or not. And the absolute biggest damage boost is going to come from your field upgrade. If you run the Tesla Storm field upgrade, you will deal a massive amount of extra electric damage. When you get into the match, the first thing you want to do is find the Aether Storm, since that's where the Stormcaller will be. If you came in with at least a purple Aether tool and flawless Ethereum crystal, then you can head straight to the Aether Storm right off the bat. On your way, it will be helpful to find an Outlast, Spore Control, or Raid Weapon Stash contract. These contracts have a lot of zombie spawns, so you should be able to charge up your Tesla Storm before getting to the Aether Storm. You can also head to an infested stronghold to get a bunch of zombie spawns if that's more convenient. If you did not come in prepared, then take some time to gear up and upgrade your weapon. The fastest contracts to absolutely crank out quick essence in tier 1 and 2 zones are Eliminate Bounty, Spore Control, and Deliver Cargo in that order. When in the tier 3 zone, I switch things around a bit and go Deliver Cargo, Eliminate Bounty, Spore Control, and Outlast in that order. If you get a Mega Abomination as your bounty target, you can just cancel it from your attack map screen and grab a different contract that will be faster. When you're completely set up with at least a purple triple packed weapon, head to the Aether Storm. I spent hours testing quite a few of the meta weapons for this, and here are the 5 best ones. Starting off with number 5 is the dual wield Renettis. These are a great option for mobility while still having decent damage output. The Akimbo Renettis took out the Stormcaller in just under 7 seconds. It is worth noting that since you have to be right under the Stormcaller to get that bonus Tesla Storm damage, it is difficult to get headshots. So all of these kills won't be the absolute quickest that they could be if I was able to just get headshots, but since they're well under the 10-second duration of Tesla Storm, they'll still be quick enough that it doesn't really matter. If you want to use the Akimbo Renettis, then here is my recommended loadout. You want to use the MK2 Renetti Long Barrel for increased damage range, the Extend Sidearm L400 Laser for increased hipfire accuracy and recoil control, the Akimbo Renetti Rear Grip to double the damage output, the Bruin Express Trigger Action for increased fire rate, and the 50-round drum for the highest possible ammo capacity. Coming in at number 4 is the Snake Shot Tears. These things used to be the best gun in the game, but got hit with a massive 80% damage nerf. But even after that nerf, they still have solid damage output and great mobility. The Akimbo Snake Shot Tears took care of the Stormcaller in 13 shots, which took about 6.5 seconds. If you want to use the Snake Shot Tears, here is my recommended build. You want to use the ZIU-16 Heavy Long Barrel for increased damage range, the Verdant Hook Mounted Laser for better hipfire spread and sprint to fire time, the Akimbo Tier Rear Grip to double your damage output, the Ullr's Fury Trigger Action for faster fire rate and more snappy trigger response time, and the 12.7 by 55mm Snake Shot ammo to turn these things into dual-wield shotguns. Next up at number 3 is the Lockwood 680 with slug rounds. This has been the best overall gun since the Snake Shot Tears got nerfed. When you pack-a-punch it, you end up firing 10 slugs per shot, which deals an incredible amount of damage. The Lockwood 680 with slugs took 11 shots to kill the Stormcaller, which took about 6 seconds. My aim was definitely not the best, and I only ended up hitting 1 headshot after destroying his mask, so this could have been even quicker. If you want to use the Lockwood 680, here is my recommended loadout. You want to run the Crown Breaker Choke muzzle for better hipfire accuracy and tighter pellet spread, the Lockwood Defender Heavy Long Barrel for increased ammo capacity and damage range, the Sawed-Off Mod Stock for faster movement speed, aim down sight speed, and sprint to fire speed, the Express Light Bolt for a faster rate of fire, and the 12-gauge slug ammo for increased range, damage, and crazy headshot damage. Next at number 2 is the Karambit Knife. Melee weapons deal a ton of damage to single targets, but aren't as good against hordes where you can easily get overrun. The Karambit took out the Stormcaller with 9 hits, which took right around 4 seconds. This thing is great at taking out bosses, but I wouldn't quite recommend it as your primary weapon in Tier 3. And finally, the number 1 fastest weapon at killing the Stormcaller is the Tonfa Police Baton. This thing is like a beefed up version of all the other melee weapons where every couple of swings it will deal a massive amount of bonus damage. The Tonfa took out the Stormcaller in a whopping 3 hits, which took under a second. It is by far the best weapon for taking this guy out and may even be the best weapon for all bosses right now. If you want help with anything Modern Warfare 3 Zombies related, like finding a competent team to play with, then feel free to join my Discord server linked in the description below. I also stream Modern Warfare 3 Zombies with viewers multiple times a week, so feel free to pop in one of the stream chats if you want to play together. If you found this guide helpful, let me know by dropping a thumbs up, and feel free to subscribe for more in-depth guides in the future.